Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new episode of the R Words Podcast, a podcast where we don't only try to speak intellectually with a fun twist. We also play this game where each one of us has to generate a random word starting with the R. During conversation, each one of us has to implement this word 3 times without the other person noticing, and the first person to actually do this will win the episode and get a point added to the tally. But there's a twist. Each one of us has a challenge flag, and during a conversation, if you feel like you know the other person's word, you throw the challenge flag and you check the word. If you're correct, the other person won't be able to win. If you're not correct, the game just continues. Damn, it was a little...
We'll take it.
We'll take it. I told you this before that like every time I do the intro now, I'm really not able to do it any slower for some reason. It's so hard for me to like do it slower.
Yeah, but that's because you're just getting reps in of doing it faster, no?
Yeah.
Like you never say it slow. Do you get what I mean? You only ever say it fast.
I always say it fast. So,
you think now if someone asks you, "Oh, so what's the podcast about?" You're gonna be like ding ding ding. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Hello guys, am I gonna?
Yeah, this is something that has happened. I think we talked about this on the podcast before, haven't we? Maybe, but I'm not sure. But like every time people,
We've talked about the fact that when we talk about the podcast, we talk about the intro that we talk about on the podcast.
exactly, podcast inception.
Nice.
Basically, when people ask us or we talk about the podcast and people say like, "Oh, what's the podcast about?" I literally just start doing the intro like I always do.
This, yeah.
And then Marco starts cracking up, obviously, because it just sounds like the intro. And then we crack up, and then we have like our little like joke between us, and then no one really gets it because they've never seen.
Just look at him like, okay, I guess I'm not watching it then.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, it sounds really boring, so I'm not gonna watch it. Yeah, the 13th episode is 13 the number of bad luck.
It's an unlucky number, I think.
Right?
Yeah. They skip it in some restaurants.
Yeah.
And elevators, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And hotel floors.
Floors as well?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes. So welcome to the 14th episode. No, it's 13th episode, which means we're technically roughly halfway season 1.
Okay, yeah, true.
Which we'll have a second half of episodes left until we know who's the first winner of season 1 of this podcast.
True.
That's incredible. Maybe it's nice to reflect on things that we've already done with the podcast and maybe what we've changed a bit.
Sure.
I think we're set on maybe the 45-minute podcasts episodes.
Yeah, I feel like again it's like it's a thing where it's just where the conversation goes, right?
Yeah.
But probably shorter than
because
the first few.
I'm pretty sure I saw that there was like more views on the last episode than there were on the previous ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I mean not like insanely higher numbers or anything, but I mean I think 45 just looks also like a more doable time to watch.
Yeah,
something. This
is why before we were saying we can't go over an hour because if you see it an hour long,
and like no, I can't be bothered.
Yeah,
basically. What else did we change in the podcast? I think the words we twitched the prompt a bit.
Yeah, we've switched up the prompt every now and then. What else?
The intro got faster. Last episode
we started doing that.
Yeah, last episode we got the fastest intro of 26 seconds.
Yeah, but you're digging yourself into a hole here because you're getting faster and faster and faster, and at some point there's going to be like a plateau. You know,
it's only going to get faster from here.
True.
And then you were here when it was 26 seconds. Maybe later it will be 20 seconds. Who knows? Or 15 seconds.
Yeah.
That would be crazy, and people will be like, "Oh, I've always had the intro at 15 seconds, and then you were there at 30 seconds." So
it would be an OG in the
yeah, you were there when I stumbled over the words like 4 episodes ago, and we just went on. It was the 2 a.m. podcast. What else did we still do? We still want to do that one thing that we talked about at work,
like the
try to say it vaguely so they don't know.
Sponsor.
Yeah, the sponsor. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
I mean, like.
Okay, we could still be doing that.
Don't you kind of do that now when I'm generating the word anyway?
No, that's a plug. It's like plugging our stuff.
Okay, that's
I
true.
think the sponsor would be a little
just
extra.
Making something up.
But the plug is also something that we.
Yeah, true. The accents is new.
Incorporated. Yeah, we try to do accents.
Yeah.
What else?
The shorts ramped up a bit, but I've been not doing anything because of
when
exam
this
period.
episode uploads, you're done with exams, right?
Yeah. So then I don't have no excuse really.
Then we'll have shorts again. But then I'm trying to think. July is going to be busy as well, right?
I'll be working more, but like, yeah.
Also for recording,
Yeah,
I'm not
true.
sure like how that's gonna work out because I mean we have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday
Yeah,
concert.
but that's 4 days. Are you going to be working like 6 days or something?
8 days a week is what I'm trying to
shit.
achieve. I need to make some more money. No, we'll figure out something.
Yeah.
Won't be too bad. Anything else that we changed over the episodes? Oh, something that I still want to change in episodes or like the videos is the thumbnail. It's something. It's something we've been saying. Like,
but then we also don't know whether we should go back and change all the previous thumbnails.
I'm not sure if you are able to do that. If we are, then sure. Then
if you have to re-upload it, probably not.
We'll just make Buddy do it. Chatty. Cato Geppetto.
No, I want actually. I mean, it shouldn't be too difficult. All I would need to do is like crop our faces, then generate an image, and then put the cropped faces in the image.
Yeah,
in theory.
Yeah, in
right?
theory.
Might be a bit more difficult in practice, but yeah.
Yeah. So we still have plenty to look out for this second leg of this season. That's how I would like to call it.
They're all home games, no?
For me, yeah.
True. It's home versus away. Yeah.
Ooh, it is breaking the fourth wall. Sheed.
Yeah.
Score is
5-2.
5-2. So there's still all to play for. He's thinking. Yeah, it's three wins that separate us.
I think so.
It's 5-2. The Knicks just lost their finals 4-2. Nice to mention. If anyone is into, holy fuck, what's this? Oh, there's some wax on my table. If anyone's into basketball, the Knicks lost. Sucks for the Knicks.
Who won?
Pacers. They're going to the finals. It's a weird ass finals. There's no Boston. There's no Nuggets. There's no
Nuggets.
Denver Nuggets. Yeah, they're good.
Damn, bro.
There's no whatever.
Is there any big teams?
Well, technically, OKC is big now. The Thunder, Oklahoma City. Thunder.
And they're in the finals.
They're in the finals against the Pacers.
Yeah,
but I mean,
then surely this is good if it's new people in the finals.
Yeah. That's why I like American sports, because it like rotates the better teams. I think the NFL does this better than NBA because NFL has a cap. What's it called? Budget cap, I think.
Okay. Unlike in like football.
Salary cap. Yeah. Unlike in NBA, I think NBA doesn't have a salary cap, or they might, and theirs just bigger. But more shit just happens like with stars in NBA. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if you saw that one trade where Luka Doncic, who is like the biggest player from this one team, he went to the team of LeBron James because LeBron James basically wanted like a super team around him. I don't know. It's some bullshit.
Isn't he old now?
He's hella old, but he just wanted to play a season with his son because his son just got drafted, and he got drafted to his team for some reason.
Wow. What a coincidence.
I wonder how that happened.
Ticket sales.
Yeah. And then he played with his son last season, and then also they got the Luka Doncic guy, who was like literally like he was the star of that one team, and the one team said like, we're never getting rid of this guy. We're gonna put a statue of him in our city.
Classic.
All of a sudden, during season, not even after season, he just got traded.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure LeBron should retire. I would like to say he's nearing 40.
He looks like it.
Yeah.
Sure.
He should retire for sure. It's better for the game. Lakers aren't getting any better for it because they're not making it to the finals. I don't think they made it through any round of the playoffs this year. Well, they got into the playoffs, but they didn't go any further. But I mean, yeah, that's me rambling about sports. Anything else? Generate the word.
Yeah, actually.
What accent am I doing? I was thinking about doing that.
But that's not.
That's not an accent. It's like
Yeah.
just a voice from. No. Okay. I need an actual accent. What have I been doing at work? Nothing. Well, no. I need an accent. Give me an accent. My Irish Pirish. My Pirish.
How about you do a German speaking English?
The German speaking English is like this, I think.
It's going French.
While Marco is I'm going French. Is generating the word. I'll tell you guys about. I'll just do Jamaican, I guess. About the YouTube channel that you can subscribe to and you can like Jaman every video and every short. Oh my god, I don't feel comfortable doing this.
Don't worry.
You can also go to Instagram and TikTok and you can follow us there and give us all the bomba clad rasta glad likes. Then also we have a Spotify where you can rate 5 bomba glad rasta glad pussy or blood clad stars. Eggs. And you can follow the podcast. Okay, I didn't feel comfortable doing that.
Probably could be cut that short as quick as possible.
Oh, it's a different kind of chat.
Yeah, it's a different AI. Because this one's just in the browser, so. Are you covering it up?
Yeah, I'm covering so it can just like free look everywhere. Leo. His name is Leo. We got a new guy.
The old one wasn't doing the job.
Give me some seconds. Entertain the guests.
Okay. He's gonna use the word in the sentence 3 times. Yeah, exactly. And then the AI is gonna tell him 3 sentences that he can use the word in, and then he's not gonna use the word.
Oh, you know me so well.
Yeah.
Wait.
But to be fair, normally after I generate the word, I have like a momentary lapse where I'm like, wait, what was my word again? But now I remember it. I have it in my head. So I shouldn't forget it. But yeah.
Okay. I think I did it. Just don't look at your phone. I'm not sure if I I closed it properly.
Yeah, that's
Because
fine.
it's a new browser, so I had no clue how to.
True. Yeah, new browser from the AI episode.
Maybe. Probably.
The one where we talked about, I think we mentioned them there, but we got a suggestion of a browser and I checked it out and it seems pretty good, so I'm using it now. Yeah. Anyway.
What if I was just playing some sort of play and then making you feel like I have a difficult word, but it's just an easy word, and you now are gonna look for all the difficult words I'm gonna say.
What if?
What if?
Yeah, I don't know.
All this just to not mention my word once.
All just for me to say random words beginning with R.
Yeah.
And then claim that was my word all along.
Oh yeah, I could also play this game and just like make my own word.
Yeah, mine was actually raggy.
Raggy.
It's a cultured AI now. It has meme culture embedded into it.
Mine actually was a Rastaklad, and I already said it once in the plug.
No way. You said it before you even got the word. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. You have a topic in the chamber? Okay. Was this the topic that you were talking about yesterday at the bar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, strap in. Yeah. So a couple of episodes ago, I gave my theory on how we're all addicted to something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a little bit of a stem off of this, but it's like applied to a different thing. So first I'll go abstract. So one of the books I was reading, and in it they mentioned something which I thought was interesting, which was talking about crime and why people feel the need to resort to crime, right?
Mm.
And then there's a take which is that the amount of crime in a society or a country is a reflection of how well structured the society is, right?
Yeah.
So in essence, that crime is a failure of society,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that it's not that people are born criminals,
Yeah.
but that we're all human, and obviously people have thought at some point to get into this kind of stuff because they think it's worthwhile, right? We're not stupid, people don't do it for no reason. If they think that they can make more money selling drugs, and that it would be easier to sell drugs than to be legit and work in a gas station for the rest of their life, there must be a reason
Selling
for
drugs
it.
at the gas station.
Facts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a reason for people doing this, which means that it must be better or easier for them to do this than to get a real job.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
So then why is this, is there really no way we can structure society so that it's not easier or more I don't know, normal in some places in a city, or for example, like some people growing up in these groups or growing up in environments where a lot of people are already in crime, so that they get brought up and they think it's normal, or they believe that it's the easiest thing to do. Like, is there really no way we can structure society to the point where this isn't seen as the easiest option? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I feel like also crime also most of the times comes from like people that came from poverty, right? Most of the times they're like less money, so they want to make money
I
fast.
mean, it depends what crime we're talking about. But
Yeah,
if you're
okay.
talking about selling drugs or, I don't know, fraud or something like this, it's different. It depends on the crime.
Yeah, but then like that is never gonna be solved, like poverty and that kind of stuff, and like.
Yeah, but this is the thing, because then if you're saying that maybe specific types of crime, like selling drugs or violent crimes, are linked with poverty and poor environments, then it's pretty clear that people in poor environments think that the easiest way for them to make money is through crime.
Yeah.
Or to gain success in whatever way they want, right? Whether it's money or whatever,
Mm.
So then we need to think about why this might actually be, right?
Because they don't have money and they want to have money.
Right, but then why? How is it that it's literally easier for them to buy and sell drugs than to actually than to study or to work in a job that contributes to society in a, I would say, more beneficial way?
But maybe it also isn't it also true that like in places where people live in poverty and like it's because like with the upbringing they're like they have less chances or like opportunities
Yeah.
to learn and study and that kind of stuff, so
then
they
it comes all
grow
back to
up
money, right?
dumber basically, or like less intelligent.
Yeah, it's obviously more difficult for someone who doesn't have the money to go to college than it is for someone who does, right?
Yeah.
Also, in terms of getting an education and all of this, right?
Yeah.
However, in terms of working in like another job, like cleaning or in a shop or something like this, you can say that when hiring, people are more selective, and that poorer people might not be hired as much. This is fair. This probably happens quite a lot. Hopefully not, but it probably does. But at the same time, like one way that I would think about it is, I don't think it's possible to get rid of drugs, for example, right? They're always going to exist. They're always going to exist. People are always going to find a way to get them or to make them or whatever, right? But then if you look at it like, okay, but then maybe like what? Okay, so in a world, let's say, where they legalize drugs, and they have like dispensaries, kind of similar to how here there's like coffee shops, right, for drugs, and it's controlled amounts, so it's less likely for you to die or overdose from it, right? And it's actually more beneficial. Like, what I don't understand is that I feel like if drugs were legalized, like this whole marketing and selling is so advanced already to the point where they can make us buy their products, right? So I don't see how this couldn't happen with drugs, and how they couldn't have like marketing and things like this, which would make people buy drugs from dispensaries instead of from drug dealers. My point is they could make dispensaries more attractive, right, than buying drugs from a person on the street. I would think pretty easily, right?
Yeah.
Because it would be more safe in terms of it wouldn't be illegal, right? And then what I'm going with this is that if you have dispensaries that dispense drugs instead of people who actually sell them, then this would kind of not eliminate, but this would affect the drug dealing profession, if you get what I mean, right?
But like, what's the difference between drugs and alcohol? Because they do this with alcohol. Like,
for me,
way more.
For me, I put them in the same category.
Glorified.
Yeah, it's
right.
You know.
That was a hard word. It's not an R word.
It doesn't start with the letter R though, so it doesn't
count.
count.
I saw you looking at like. No, it's not a G word podcast. Different podcast.
It's in another dimension.
Yeah,
it's a G word podcast. But this is just an example, right? But yeah, also with alcohol, I would just throw it in with drugs, right? But let's say that you have dispensaries that sell drugs instead of people, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And it's more attractive to buy it from a dispensary for a number of reasons. Maybe it's better priced. Maybe it's safer in terms of you're less likely to overdose, and it's safer in terms of it's not illegal, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would think that this would cause a bit of a hit to the drug dealing industry, right?
Yeah.
And less people would become drug dealers.
Yeah, I'm trying to think at like.
This is an example, by the way. You could do it with.
I'm trying to think back at the 1920s. Remember the 1920s?
Mm-hmm. Vividly.
Yeah. Okay. We're there, right? So in the 1920s, you had the maybe it was 1913 actually. Maybe it was no.
Talking about prohibition or something?
1920 till 1933, prohibition. You had bootleggers, which are literally just drug sellers, right?
Yeah.
Drug dealers.
Mm-hmm.
So then, how did they get of the How did they get rid of the bootleggers?
By selling it like in shops.
Okay,
exactly.
So then, this is a solution.
This is exactly my point.
Did we just literally found a solution?
No, because
did we finally find a solution for a problem that we bring up in the podcast? This is some personal.
This isn't the solutions podcast.
I sure hope she's listening.
But yeah. So
by the way, now that I just laughed, yesterday at work, one of our colleagues said, "I really like how you have the typical white rich person laugh." I don't know. I feel offended by that. But continue.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, because with all of these things, right? For example, I know they've done it in some countries, and I won't lie, I haven't paid too much attention to it, so I don't know very in depth how it went. But with any of these things, let's say you legalize drugs, it's going to be chaos at the start, right?
Yeah.
And I think we would need to accept that it's going to be a fucking mess to start with, right?
Yeah.
Shit's going to go wrong. There's probably going to be a surplus of drugs at the beginning, right? Because people like drug dealers will already have all their stock and customers, and on top of that, you're adding more drugs, right? Yeah. But I would think that over time it would start to cause people being like, oh wait, I can just buy this from the vending machine around the corner, and it's better in these kind of ways, right?
Yeah.
Now then you would say, okay, but then if people don't sell drugs, what are they going to do? Rob people, you know? So then you need to go into robbing people, right? But the thing is, this isn't kind of on a side track, because I'm not focusing on ways of getting rid of selling drugs, because you could technically always sell drugs even if there's dispensaries, but we just need to make it easier to do something else instead of selling drugs.
Yeah,
you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Let's say
because now you don't have people running around selling their alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Which
right, doesn't exist anymore, right?
So
I would think the same thing would happen over time, but anyway, it's going away from this, right? You would just need to make it more easy to find a job which contributes, in my opinion, in a more beneficial way to society. Let's say you set up youth centers in less, what's it called? Like less well-off neighborhoods, for example, or just in general, everywhere, right?
Mm.
Where people are educated more when, like, it's state funded, which is a big thing, right?
Yeah.
more tax money spent on it, but where people go and they can play sport or they can do things like this, right?
Yeah.
They have this in a few places and they normally don't work too well, to be honest. But I think there's ways that you could do it, right? But let's say this, so you could create people who have to work there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, you would need more people going there, right? But like
Yeah.
they would need to. I don't think that. Like I think that there's room to make jobs or some work that people can do easier and more beneficial than something else like selling drugs or robbing people, you know? Because
Yeah.
I don't think that it's not that people don't want to work, you know? I don't really think this, right? I don't think that people are just inherently lazy and don't want to get a real job. I don't think this is the main cause of it.
Mm.
I think the fact that they realize they can do something else and it might be objectively less work might make them more lazy
money.
and not want to get a job, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think that them being lazy is the cause of it, right?
Yeah.
So I do think that we could tackle this by creating, but also just seeing how jobs can be made more accessible or more easy for people to get to than something which isn't as beneficial, you know? Now, this is me just saying this. Obviously, there would be a few difficulties in implementing it and all this stuff, right? But the overall thing would just be that I think that we can structure the society in a way that makes it less beneficial and less of an easy decision for it to start selling drugs or robbing people. You know what I mean? Because I think that's the only reason that it exists anyway, right?
Mm.
People who sell drugs normally wouldn't have been their first idea to sell drugs, you know?
Mm.
Like, it's not that this was their dream from when they were a kid, right?
Yeah. I'm kind of intrigued now by like the whole like bootlegging stuff, and like I really want to know like how they tackled that issue back then, and then
Maybe something to
that
learn
would-
from, yeah. I don't know.
that could probably like work out and fixing this problem basically.
Yeah. But then this is also connecting this to the addiction thing, right? I feel like we all have, I said before that I feel like we all have things that we do to give us like a quick fix of dopamine or of endogenous opioids, right?
Yeah.
Or just to feel good, basically, right? Whether it's stuff like drugs or stuff like shopping, or if it's stuff like playing computer games or whatever it is. Everyone has their poison, basically, right? And I was thinking, why is this, you know? Like, why do we all feel the need to have something that, in a way, is just there to distract us from what is in front of us in the moment? You know what I mean? Like, it feels like everyone has something which we do to distract us from reality in order to feel good, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe this is something that is innate in us and that we would do regardless. Or again, maybe it's to do with the way that the world is at the moment, you know?
Yeah.
Is it that a kind of a bit of a pessimistic view on it would be that the world is so shit at the moment that we feel the need to escape from it by doing one of these things,
Yeah.
right? And maybe this doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, because it can just be a way of reflecting on the state of the world and focus on improving it, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe the reason why we all have these things is because nowadays there's so many things clamoring for our attention, saying like, oh, like buy this product, or oh, download this, or oh, do this, or oh, like there's so much stuff calling for our attention that it's inevitable for us to do one of them, right? Maybe that's the reason that we all do it. It's probably a mix of many things, right? But these are two different ways of looking at it.
Lately, I've been thinking about this as well, because I catch myself grabbing like my phone or my MacBook really quick to like watch YouTube videos while I'm eating, and then I'm sitting there like at least an hour eating, just like watching the videos. And I always think like, sorry, why would I why do I keep watching these videos, and why don't I just like study or do something that I can actually, it'll actually like be useful, like maybe clean the apartment here and there, or study something like more like hobby wise, like the bartending stuff. It's just but I think it's because it's the easy way out.
Yeah, I was gonna say this as well, but I think this is because it's made to be easy. Yeah. It's made to be super duper accessible, and it's made to draw you in. Like all of these things nowadays are structured and engineered and have algorithms to keep you doing whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
One example of this, which might not be, is anything that isn't related to tech. For example, reading or something, right? Like reading doesn't, well, technically, a book also keeps you, if it's a good book, it would also keep you engaged because it's meant to be gripping and keep you turning the page. But I don't know. But so, we technically all have things that it feels like we clasp to as like a safe thing, or as whether it's a habit or whether it's an escape or whatever, right? So, maybe this is because of the world. Maybe this is because how people feel. Maybe when we feel bad, we do these things in order to make us feel better, right? Yeah. So it's like a coping thing, right? Maybe in order to cope with the bad thing, we do stuff that we do a lot that we know makes us feel good in our like comfort little bubble, you know? Yeah. But then, it's also a valid point that it's made easy for this to be the chosen option, you know? Because
I feel like it justifies it when I watch like videos that are like intellectual or informative. And lately I've been watching a lot of videos on like people guessing other people's like ethnicity by language or that kind of stuff. And even though there's like an entertainment side to it, I feel like it informs me
something, right?
About like different kind of accents or how I would approach the situation, which I think as soon as you start justifying, like looking for justifications of like why you're doing something, you're in the wrong. It's I feel like I'm just trying to find
like it could be worse, but it could also be better, basically.
Right? I feel like I'm trying to find like right reasoning for me doing stuff like that. It's like I should just do the.
But this is why this is exactly what I'm saying. Like I feel like we do these things, but we're not necessarily aware of why we do them. You know, and this is kind of interesting to me, right? Because it's something that you could easily gloss over and say, "Oh, it's just habit."
Yeah.
But I think there's probably a more embedded or a deeper reason there, you know. So I
mean, I feel like in our nature, we're always looking for entertainment. I think, like, back in the past, people were also going for entertainment, but they would go to like theaters or plays.
Yeah, but this was a lot more rare, and I think that this made it more. Well, this, in my eyes, made it more special and more entertaining.
Yeah, actually.
Let's say that you live in a ancient civilization, moving rocks or tending to crops or things like this all day, and every 6 months you have a gladiator fight, or like a.
That was a big ass spike.
You have like a gladiator fight, or people dueling, or people doing a play in a little square, you know?
Yeah.
This is gonna be fucking sick, you know? This is the highlight of the year, you know?
Exactly.
It's the annual play, right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna get hyped for it, right? If you had this play every day,
that's my Super Bowl.
If you had this play every day, it loses its meaning.
Yeah.
You know? And after a while, you're just gonna be doing it because it's entertaining, but it loses its I don't know. It's meaning, in my opinion. And I think that I don't know, I think having this kind of entertainment is good, right? And I think it's good, but I think it's good in moderation, because I like to think a lot of the time that if you can only be entertained if you know what it's like to not be entertained, right? The same way that you, in my opinion, can only be truly happy if you know what it's like to not be happy.
Yeah.
And with anything that you think about, you know, right? And I think that nowadays we're being kept so constantly entertained that we're almost unentertained at being entertained. You know what I mean? Right?
Do you remember?
And I feel like this is just going to keep going up until nothing really entertains us anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and this is just a disaster in my opinion, right?
Do you remember the time where a show would bring out an episode every week, and you would have to wait like an entire week for the episode to come on?
I never really was into into shows, but
because I feel like people are really not capable of doing that anymore. Nowadays, you'll see people binge watching shows like an episode, like an entire season a day, and then also the streaming services found loopholes to make you watch the episodes faster by paying, and that's also something that's like kind of fucked up, right? Like we're not even able to look out for this episode like an entire week and then watch it. You know what I mean? Like, and I have that with NFL really badly. Like, I cannot skip the season. I have to watch every week. I have to look forward every week, and then it's only like maybe 5 months the entire season, and then it's over. And then the entire year, I'm looking forward to the next season again.
But then this is what I'm saying, because this is kind of like the theater, right?
Yeah.
Except that it would be a lot for a bit and then nothing, right? So in like blocks, right? But I do think that, like, at least for me at the moment, I'm kind of going on a trend of trying to do less, or trying to like to use less. Well, it's because normally this stuff, at least for me, is connected with technology, because technology normally now all has this stuff that makes you keep using it, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's efficiency, whether it's usefulness, whether it's whatever, right? So I'm kind of trying to use a bit less tech, and in general trying to be comfortable doing nothing, you know?
Yeah.
And this is why a while ago I wanted to get into like meditating or something like this, because I feel like it's like a thing where you're actually just tuning out all the shit that's going on.
Yeah.
And you're actually doing nothing. And you're actually just alone with your thoughts, or with no thoughts, ideally, right? And just sitting there, you know?
Would you say working out is a way of meditating?
The way we normally do it, no. Right? Like, if you go to Basic Fit, right?
You mean bench 80 kilograms?
No, and like people are listening to music.
Yeah. Okay.
People are looking at other people. People are looking at themselves in the mirror. People are looking at the fucking screens in the gym that show ads all the time. You know, like like there's so much shit going on.
So many
you
times,
know,
holy
me
shit.
too, right? I'm guilty, right? Guilty.
Yeah.
And this also gets into another thing about music, that I love listening to music, right? I've played music most of my life and I love it. Loads of different genres. And but I've noticed recently that when I'm listening to music, it's like I'm in like another world, you know? It's like I'm kind of imagining something to do with the music, or I'm in some kind of trance while I'm listening to music. Like if you walk down the street with headphones on listening to music, or earphones and listening to music, it's a completely different experience than if you walk down the street without headphones.
Yeah, 100%.
It's literally like a completely different
I
world.
would never be able to walk outside without my headphones on, bro. No. The world is so fucking boring, bro.
Yeah.
I need Bad Bunny.
This is what I'm saying, you know?
Yeah,
I think it's nice. It's nice. And I've been doing it recently. Just like when I go to the gym, I don't listen to any music or anything. But also just when I'm cycling recently, I've been like, I'm not going to listen to music. And I just raw dog it. And I just look around, you know, take things in, you know. And I think this is good, because I think that then you can appreciate the music or the NFL or whatever it is more. You know what I mean? I think that we're losing this a bit, because we have so many things vying for our attention. Right?
I feel like I've been listening to way too much music lately, like on my way to the grocery store, to the gym, to school, to work, whatever, that I literally like I don't know what to listen to anymore nowadays. Like I've been listening to the Bad Bunny album for so long that I don't even listen to it
Gotta
anymore.
find a new genre.
Then my country playlist that I try to find like the weird like songs that I normally never listen to. Then I was listening to the Kendrick Lamar album that also I don't know, I haven't listened to it in a good month. Like I don't know what to listen to anymore. And then
Yeah.
the other day actually, it was quite nice. I was listening to old like soul, like the black soul music basically.
It's pretty big bangers in there actually.
Yeah, it was what's his name? Obviously Otis Redding, but there's another big name that I keep forgetting all the time. But yeah, just like that kind of music was nice to listen to while cooking, I think, or cleaning up.
Well, you can branch out into this genre, you know?
What do you mean?
Like you can listen to more songs that are like soul songs. You
Yeah, I know. But then with music, I always want to like sing along. I want to be able to sing along and know the song basically, for some reason.
Yeah, but then you get caught in like a paradox.
Exactly,
right?
and that's what I'm in right now. I'm in a paradox right now, in a loophole that I cannot get out of. Like I listen to the same kind of songs every day.
But then you have to refrain from going back to the same stuff again and again, you know?
Yeah, but it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
I mean,
but this is also like this comfort thing that I'm talking about.
Yeah,
you know?
but people like to listen to the songs they know, and they like to watch the movies and have a genre.
And I think that this is in some way their comfort or their like mini addiction, you know?
Yeah.
Right? Because they do this in order to feel comfort or to feel like they're familiar with it, they know what's gonna happen, they're in control or whatever, right? Because like you could say that this is because we live in a world that we can't control and that we seek the ability to feel in familiar settings and being able to control it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, so maybe this is why, right?
Yeah, I mean, always like going out of your comfort zone is always the rigorous way, so I mean yeah. But I've been listening to Greek music as well.
Greek music.
But it's because I love the language.
Yeah. Nice. I feel like you've been not getting into, but I feel like you've been reviving your language.
My Greek language.
Yeah, recently, no?
I don't know why, but I just like the language because it's like something so by itself that it's nothing like Latin language, nothing like Germanic, nothing like
because it's its own little
thing, yeah. And also like the alphabet is way different, but for some reason I show people Greek words and like how to like just like the R alphabet way of writing them, and people are capable of saying it because I think Greek, the way it's written, it's that phonetically, so like you write it the way you say it, and it's not with like different kind of like weird like accents, W's or Q's or something like that you don't see or hear or it's just like very like straightforward, which I like.
The opposite of English now.
Exactly, opposite with the Dutch as well.
Yeah.
Most languages. Well, I think Latin languages are still like kind of. French is also very bad at doing like they have like weird like
like they've this and they've a grave and then they've a circumflex and they've
But the only hard thing about the Greek language is that you have like a whole different alphabet that you have to learn.
This is also what I had with Russian, but after a while you kind of get used to it.
Yeah, you just have to.
Well, for me, I was just using Duolingo, learning the letters for a while.
Yeah, because they give you the alphabet as well, right? You can
this was actually pretty cool because you can also write them. And then
Body
also
doesn't take no for an answer. Holy shit!
You can also like see words that begin with it and stuff. But obviously, there's a cap. But I'm enjoying it. I like it.
Yeah. What are we? I don't know when we started actually. Like 5 minutes in.
Yeah.
So this is we have to round it up.
Yeah, around now. Did you use your word?
I used my word, and I think you used your word, but you didn't use it 3 times.
What was my word?
It's okay. So I had reflecting once. I heard revive, and I heard another one, refrain.
Okay, which one do you think? It's one of them.
And I know.
Which one?
I don't think it's reflecting because it's too easy. I think it's refrain or revive. So I think it's refrain.
Yeah, it was refrain.
Damn.
And I knew it because when I said it, I saw something in your eyes, and you were like,
Bro, I was paying
like a
attention.
glint.
I
You
was,
fucking
I
locked
was
the fuck
paying
in.
attention so heavily
But
to
then what
you.
was yours?
You haven't heard my word?
No.
Bro, it's so obvious. Rigorous.
I didn't notice it. I think I'm pretty bad at noticing it, to be honest. I think you can pass a lot more by me than you think.
Okay, well then I'm gonna throw this out because in the entire episode I was like, how am I gonna fucking do it, bro? If I use it once, he's gonna notice. And then in the end, I was like, I have to do it for the people at home. Like I haven't scored any points, and I was like, the living the discomfort way is like the rigorous way of living or something like that.
I didn't even hear this.
Damn, should have fucking thrown it out more.
So you used it once?
I used it once, yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
fuck me
it's
as well.
such a hard word to
It's a
fucking
poor
use.
showing. Sorry, guys.
At least I said it once.
Yeah.
I don't think I've done that in a long time, using my word.
No.
So yeah, that rounds it up. Do we have a question for the guests? As a hospitality worker that I am, do we?
How can I help you?
How can I help you guys? Do we have a question for the people listening and viewing? What instrument do you?
Yeah, I mean, well, sure, yeah. If you play an instrument, what instrument do you play? And
Yeah.
if not, something else you do, I guess. But
Or what kind of music do you listen to? Is also
this is an easy one, actually. Yeah.
What kind of music do you guys listen to? Like what genre? Do you have like crazy ass genres or artists that we should listen to? Leave it in the comment section below. Leave it in the comment section below.
Any Greek music?
Any Greek artists? I already know Claudia and Marina Sati. So and Light and Sky and Tranos.
Just saying random names at this point.
No, actually, they're good. You should listen to it. So that'll wrap it up for this episode. And what the fuck was that? Follow us subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Go to Spotify and like the podcast and rate it 5 stars after listening to the full episode. And like us on every platform. Like us on every platform. And that'll be it for this episode. And we'll see you guys in the next one. See you guys. Bye.